And welcome to our three-part series on how to transform not enough into abundance and wholeness and the truth of what is a full cup, a plenty, a feeling of plentiness. Have you noticed that no matter what you do or how hard you try, accessing a feeling of being enough or having enough is a bit of a conundrum? Even as you work on self-acceptance and self-love and manifesting, it's like there's something missing that keeps what you really know in your heart to be available to you just out of reach. It's so frustrating. And the problem is that we have carried from birth, encoded in our DNA, stories of not enough. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough love. And on top of that, culturally, women are considered to be less than, which is another way of saying not enough. And often this is unconscious programming in society, and sometimes not. If these stories are taking up space in your abundance cup, and they are, then how do we get rid of them and make space for your divine birthright of abundance and good? It's a good question. And for the record, I'm defining abundance as a plentifulness of good feelings and good things in life, prosperity of health, expression, resources, money, love. It's a state of thriving. And this is a divine blueprint for every human being, and it's up to each one of us to activate the blueprint, so to speak. That's why I'm glad you're here, because I'm going to show you how to activate what's already in you. It's lying dormant in your system, no exceptions. And this will awaken your true abundance. You see, a woman can only truly be happy when she's awakened and is living her truth, when she can feel her cup full with what's important to her. And I'm not talking about a gazillion dollars here, unless that's what you wish to create. I'm talking about things, experiences, ways of being in life that matter to you. When we activate, align with, and live from this fullness, happiness is a natural byproduct. You've likely tried lots of things, I imagine you have, to try to get to this very place. I get it. So had I. The problem was I still kept coming up short, which, as I'm sure you can feel, is terribly frustrating. So let's say that as a human, our whole system is like a chalice. We receive from the ocean of abundance and good that's always flowing our way, by the way, and we give from the overflow, as in keeping our own cup full, and the energy of abundance is designed to flow in, through, and around us. Then it's our work in this life as a spiritual person to move the old energy, the old stories, or better said, we transform them into energy that no longer takes up space, leaving room to create anew. It's an alchemy of sorts. And the question is how? We've been meditating and affirmationing and therapying, and we buy the books and we go to the psychics and eat the greens and do the yoga and get the coaches. I mean, what's it gonna take? For the record, I love all of those things and I use them myself. But I have to tell you, one day, as a 25-year practitioner of Chinese medicine and a creative healer, I realized that while all good, they tend to fall short of the mark. So I asked myself, what is missing here? And that inquiry led me on a journey that has revealed the alchemy and transformational power of creativity. A quick introduction, I'm Lori Morse, and I am devoted to guiding women on the journey of transformation via the path of creativity, intentionally restoring and renewing energy to serve a more sacred outcome. This is a process I live and breathe in my own life, reaping the rewards gratefully, and it's a process I guide women like you through as well. It's a sacred honor, actually, to guide and curate the container and community for this quality of transformation to happen. And it happens creatively and with grace and with impact that lasts. I was definitely one of those people who said I wasn't creative. I secretly wanted to be, but I was running a story that I wasn't. I even dated several artists until I realized, oh, I'm the one who wants to make art. So I did. I gave myself permission to play and not be overly critical, and I vowed to not stop creating. And that was a process, just for the record, but I have to say that I started noticing that I could be intentional during my creativity, and it would change the thing I was focused on shifting. I got through menopause with creativity as my life raft. I healed my own not enoughness to the point where now I realize, and I take this to heart, that I am an expression expression of the divine creative life force, and I have gifts to offer, and holding back is painful. Having replaced the old false beliefs of not enough has made room for the truth of enough and the feeling of a plenty full cup. And what surprised me along the way is how it works every time, and I enjoy the process. It's like fun. I've been a healing professional for 30 years, so I know, and I've tried a lot of what's on the healing and transformational buffet, but I've never experienced something as deep and lasting as a creative process, and I use it for small and big things alike. For the record, every human being is an extension of creative life force, and if one is breathing, then they are creative in their nature. Does that mean you're an artist exhibiting in galleries? Not necessarily, unless that's what you want to do. What it means is if you don't have a relationship with the creative flow in you, then abundance stalls, because they're the same energy. Thus, we can awaken the dormant abundance, literally coded in every cell, by way of a creative process. How cool is that? As Brené Brown so eloquently says, based on her extensive research, this is what she says: what I've learned about creativity from the world of wholehearted living and loving, based on her research, is 1. I'm not very creative doesn't work. There's no such thing as creative people and non-creative people. There are only people who use their creativity and people who don't. Unused creativity isn't benign. It lives within us until it's expressed, neglected to death, or suffocated by resentment and fear, and sometimes comes out by ill health. 2, the only unique contribution that we will ever make in this world will be born of our creativity. And 3, if we want to make meaning, we need to make art, cook, write, draw, doodle, paint, scrapbook, take pictures, collage, knit, rebuild an engine, sculpt, dance, decorate, act, sing. It doesn't matter. As long as we're creating, we're cultivating meaning. Pretty interesting, right? Her research is remarkable. The capacity to increase your abundance comes from the life force that is coursing through you already right now as we speak. The question is, are you connected to it? A sense of enough, whether enough time, money, resources, love, health, it comes from connecting into our creative life force and cultivating creativity and meaning in our life right now, today, tomorrow, always, because that's our design. Doing that opens the gates for abundance and good to flow freely. What gets in the way of this is we often don't give ourselves permission to play. Our perfectionist side, let's call her the critic, is so hard on us it's painful. We are in such a state of hyper productivity driven by this critical part of ourselves with our to-do lists that we have no time for such nonsense as creativity, she says. As a side note, but wildly noteworthy, curiosity kills the critic. So try it. I'm going to invite you, the next time you notice that mean voice in your head, be curious and notice what happens. For example, if you secretly wish to explore creativity, but that voice says, "Who do you think you are? You don't have a creative bone in your body, or you don't have an extra minute to indulge in such frivolousness." Notice without judgment and just say, "Oh, there she is," and then become curious. I wonder what I would discover if I just played for a few minutes. Or how could I explore what seems colorful and fun to me? Or if it's true, and it is, that creativity transforms this empty feeling of not enough into an experience of plenty, and that abundance abounds from that place, and plenty wants to fill my cup, then how can I get some of that? Those are good questions. If we don't engage curiosity, then the mind is in total control, which is a recipe for disaster, while creating connects us to the body as well as the mind. This is how we embody our abundance, which I like to call the recipe for divinity instead of disaster. And here's the thing. If your mind was capable of filling your cup, getting your business to work better, healing your body, all the things that you may want, it would have done it by now. It simply doesn't know how, even though it will dupe you all day, every day into having you think it does. Only your creative life force is capable of the job, trust me. And I'll let you in on a secret. When we don't engage in our creative life force, the source of our fullness, enoughness, and bounty, then we will feel empty and not enough. We will never be able to get around that. We're self-critical when that happens, and it can be a vicious circle. it was natural when we were a kid for us to be playful and creative and explore, and we were naturally inquisitive. But as we grew up, it's as if our creative self and voice turned into our critical self and voice. Basically, our creative self got hijacked, and you can get her back, I promise. Did you know that research shows that creativity gives us the same benefits as meditation? And if you don't already know, the benefits are pretty good of meditation and creativity. Lowers stress, calms anxiety, helps depression and pain, it clears the mind, and most importantly, it connects us to the intelligent universe. Creativity is ancient and belongs to all beings alike. Why? Because it courses through your veins. It fills your cup, activates your divine abundance, and connects you to your soul. Quite simply, we are healed by what we create. It's a big deal. This cultural addiction we have to being over busy is harmful, not helpful. It steals our capacity to connect inward. If you happen to like music, and I don't know too many people who don't, then it's interesting to recall that there's no music without notes and rests. It takes both to make the music, and that's what makes music magical. Creativity is like resting. We started off in this video talking about the beliefs and stories about being not enough that take up so much space and that's crowding out abundance. I have a simple exercise for you, and try to make it fun and playful. Download the play sheet below this video and make a couple of notes. This won't take too long. Just list 3 things in your life that you're grateful for, things that you've already been blessed with that make you feel abundant. And then list 3 things of what you're ready for more of. And this would most likely be the opposite of what you feel like you don't currently have enough of. It could be confidence, a better relationship with someone important to you, money, time, energy. It doesn't matter. There's a big, buffet to choose from. The thing is our gratitude activates our capacity for more. It helps shift the energy of feeling like we're lacking or don't have enough of what we're calling forth. So acknowledging what we have closes that lack gap. And this may sound really simplistic, this exercise, and you've probably done it before, maybe a lot, but done with the intention of activating your creative life force is a little different. So go with me, if you will. It won't take but a few moments. And if you'd like to add a little, an extra layer to each of the 3 elements, ask yourself, what shape and color does each of these feel like to you? And then draw that on your page 2. You don't have to do this part. It'll work if you don't, but if you're just feeling like you want a little bit more, then you can play with that. And then in our next video, and it will build on this, I'll show you how to transform the old story of not enough and craft a new story of abundance, because the only thing that may be in the way of you receiving more is the old energy blocking it, the old stories that are stuck in your system. So we'll talk about how to transform those in the next video. And I'm also going to tell you in our next time together about Amy, how she transformed, she manifested by transforming her old story, a new project that was worth a lot of money, a book deal and a radio show via a creative healing process. It was so magical for her. So I would love to hear what's on your sheet. I'd love it if you post in the comments what you're currently grateful for and what you're ready for more of. And please tell me what it would mean for you if you had more of that. I mean, that's really the juicy part. Like, what would it mean for you in your life? Don't make light of it, because this exercise opens the doorway for activating your abundance. So you want to make sure you get it in writing. It's the writing part that's powerful. Also, thank you in advance for the honor of being a sacred witness to your gratitudes and the wishes of your heart and why that's meaningful to you. Also, share this video with 3 people that you feel it would be valuable for, and remember to like the page. And I look forward to reading your comments, and if you feel like sharing the shapes and the colors, go ahead and do that too. But meanwhile, I will look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video.